Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And because this is a story time channel, I'm going to tell a story today. I'm going to talk about getting stung by the bee. I've kind of talked about it on the other channels, but if you don't know what's happened, I got stung by a bee the other day. And so I wanted to put it on here, not only because I want to remember what happened to me. I mean, it wasn't the greatest memory in the entire world, but kind of the aftermath of it. And how I think that even, those of us that try really hard to be positive on a daily basis can get taken down with stuff. And, this in the grand scheme of things was nothing. I mean, it was a bee sting. My eye got swollen as a result of it. But, in the grand scheme of things, it's going to heal. It's going to go on. But in that moment, I really let it bring me down. And so I kind of wanted to talk about it on here today. So here's the extended story. Alex and I have been sitting on the same spot in the beach every day. And he is sitting on one of these hanging beds, and I laid on it for, I don't know, 10 minutes, and I started getting a little queasy, so I was like, I'm gonna sit in the chair right next to you and listen to my audiobook. So I've got these two chairs that I sit next to in front of him. So we've been sitting there for several hours. It was probably 4:30 or 5, and he looked at me and he goes, "Are you ready to go?" And I said, "I'm almost done with this chapter. Let me finish with this chapter, and then we can go." So as I was listening to it, I pulled my bag over, and I don't know if maybe the bee was in the bag or sitting on top of it or something, but as soon as I pulled the bag, I felt something fly right up to me, literally just like that, right up, and I knew instantly, I knew it was it wasn't just a fly, if that makes sense, because it kind of stayed there too long. And so I reached up and I was like, "What is that?" And I went like that, and I could feel it instantly, as soon as I pulled away at it, I could feel it, and I had it in my hand, and I just went like that. And right away, I knew, I couldn't tell right away that I was stung by a bee, but it hurt really, really bad. Now, I have never been stung by a bee before in my entire life, so I didn't know if I was allergic to it or what had happened to it, if that makes sense. I'm kind of trying to relive this and give it to you guys. But I have never been stung by a bee before, but I knew that right away, I was like, okay, that wasn't right. That wasn't just you got bit by a mosquito or something like that. And I was like, I looked at Alex, I go, "I think I got stung by a bee." And he goes, "You what?" And I go, "I think I got stung by a bee." And he goes, "How would you have got stung by a bee?" Well, he's then talking to this woman over there, and she's like, "Oh yeah, people get stung by bees down here all the time on the beach." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, people get stung down here. Are you okay?" And I said, "No, I'm not okay. I got stung by a bee," and I could feel it. And if you look, I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. It's red, and it's hard underneath there. The wasp is out, or not the wasp, but the stinger is out. I know that. Last night we really pushed and pushed and pushed. It was in there until last night, you guys, and we got it out. So anyway, Alex looked at me, he goes, do you need, let's go up now? And I was like, yeah, we need to go up there. This hurts. I mean, it really, really hurt. And it wasn't a pain where you cry. It was almost kind of a stunned pain, where you're like, did I just really get stung by a bee, on my nose? You know what I mean? So I didn't really think much about it. I was kind of actually worried that my nose would just kind of get really inflamed. Well, we come back to the room, and I'm freaking out about it, and Alex is like, "You have to take some allergy medicine." I must have on my vlog said acetaminophen, because so many people commented on that, and then what I meant was antihistamine, okay? I don't take any medicine that has antihistamines in it. I don't like the way that they make me feel. I have, during really extreme allergy season before, had to take an antihistamine. They made me feel I just don't like them, right? So I don't take antihistamines that are in allergy medicine if I don't have to. So I called my dad. My dad's a doctor. I'm like, "Hey Dad, I'm sorry to bother you. I just got stung on the nose by a bee." And he started laughing. He goes, "Did you really?" He goes, "How does this shit happen to you?" I go, "I don't know, Dad." I go, "I got stung on the nose by a bee. It hurts really, really bad." And he goes, "Well, what does it feel like?" And I said, "I don't know. It's just it hurts right there." And he goes, "Okay." He goes, "You need to take some allergy medicine." And I go, "Are you sure?" I said, "I really don't like any, but Alex has some if I need to." And he goes, "You need to take allergy medicine, Pete." He was like, "You're going to have an allergic reaction to it." Even those people that are not allergic to bee stings a lot of times have allergic reactions to bee stings. You need to take allergy medicine just to help the swelling go down. It's going to itch like crazy, all this kind of stuff. And he said, "Has your eye started swelling yet?" And I said, "No." I go, "Why would my eye swell?" And he goes, "Well, it has," he goes, because my dad's a plastic surgeon, he goes, "It's the same kind of thing that happens when you have rhinoplasty or whatever, and then afterwards people have black eyes." He goes, "Your eye is going to swell underneath there because that's where it's going to release the venom." And I was like, oh, great. He goes, it's gonna look like you got hit in the eye. And I said, well, it doesn't look like that at all. And at this point, I'm not convinced, right? So I'm like, whatever. He goes, go have Alex get you some ice. He goes, take your allergy pill. He goes, take a nap and see what it looks like when you get up. So I was like, okay. So at this point, I'm feeling real sorry for myself. I got stung in the nose. I got that stung in the nose. But I really thought I would wake up and it would be nothing more than maybe like, you know, a thumb-size red spot on my nose. No. Because at the beach, Alex looked at it and he goes, I can't even see it. I go, what do you mean you can't see it? There's a red spot on my nose. So I lay down and I, you know, take the allergy medicine. I wake up. I'm feeling like, I just don't like that kind of medicine, okay? I don't ever take it as a person in recovery. To me, it's not habit forming because I take the one that's like not habit forming, but it still has antihistamine in it and I don't like it. So anyway, I wake up and I go in the bathroom and Alex, he's standing in the bathroom getting ready for dinner and he goes, oh my God, your whole eye is swollen. And I go, what? And you guys, this is really, really good compared to what it looked like. He goes, your whole eye is swollen. And I like immediately get in the mirror and I'm like, holy shit. Like, I mean, it literally looked like somebody just like sucker punched me, you know? And I was like, oh my, I can't go to dinner like this. He was like, what do you mean you can't go? We don't know anybody here. I said, I can't go to dinner like that. They're gonna think I got hit. They're gonna think something happened. And he goes, it's not that big of a deal. Just go to dinner, right? I'm like, oh my God, I can't go to dinner like this. I got real vain real quick, right? So I'm like hungry and I'm starving. I'm like, I'll just get room service. He's like, come on, let's just go to dinner. It's just not that big of a deal. For him, because he didn't get stung by the bee. But he was very sweet about the whole thing. He was really. He was like, honey, it really looks like it hurts bad. So we went down and we ate dinner and we walked around the resort and we came back up and stuff like that. And I'm like so feeling sorry for myself. At this point now, let me just tell you, if it was on like a scale of like 1 to 10, like being swollen, 10 being the worst, it was probably at about a 6. In the room, it had been a 4, and through dinner, it moved to a 6, okay? By the time we got up to the room, it was like an 8. It was bad, you guys. It was like huge. I looked at Alex and I'm like this. I can't get my contact out. What am I supposed to do? And I even vlogged at one point, and it wasn't even as bad. Like, I watched the vlog back the next day, and on the vlog, it wasn't even as bad, right? And I called my dad again, and I said, I don't know what to do with my contacts. And he goes, just leave your contacts in overnight. Can you leave them in overnight? I was like, well, I never do that. He goes, well, it's not going to kill you one night. He was like, you know, just leave them in there one night. So I left my contacts in overnight. I went to bed, and I woke up the next day, and it was exactly the same. Okay, well, this is where the negativity started breaching into the life of Peter Monn. I was like, I cannot believe this is happening to me, okay? And have you ever had something happen to you in life? And remind me of this when really tragic shit happens to me down the road, okay? Because this is really nothing. Like, in the grand scheme of things, I got stung in the nose by a bee. I'm perfectly fine, you know? And it's going away. It's now gone down. I mean, I woke up today, like, people that see it, they're like, oh my God, what happened? You got stung by a bee? And they're like, that's horrible. I'm like, oh, this is nothing. Compared to yesterday, this is nothing, right? But, you know, I really kind of let it start sinking into me. And what I was thinking about with things like this, okay, I got very self-pitying. I can't believe I've waited for this vacation. I'm on this vacation. I can't see, because I couldn't see out of my eye, you guys. It was like the swollenness was pushing this eye closed. And because this eye was closing, this eye was naturally closing. So I would just be like this all the time, you know? And I was feeling sorry for myself, but then as much as I was feeling sorry for myself, I was kind of getting angry, but I really had nobody to get angry at, if that makes sense, because this wasn't anybody's fault. I got stung. Who am I going to get mad at? The bee? You know what I mean? Like, I got stung by a bee. There was nothing that I could do about it. So I was sitting there and I was like, okay, it is what it is. You just have to deal with it, blah, 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 whatever. So I'm kind of going on and I'm going on with my day, you know, and I'm like, last night I like kept on letting it affect me. And finally I was sitting outside and I was thinking about, you know, like, in the big grand scheme of things, like the horrible shit that happens to people, the diseases, the devastation, the world events like hurricanes and flooding and all this kind of stuff, you know, in the grand scheme of all of that, it's just a bee sting. And what it really made me do last night, and this is weird, and this is the gratitude thing again, okay, is it made me really realize what a wonderful life I have, you know? Because in reflection to a bee sting, my life is awesome, you know? If this is the worst it's gonna get for me on this whole vacation, if it's not gonna get any worse than this at all, like, this is nothing, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a bee sting, I'm going to be okay. And so I was like, you know what, I think I can handle this. I think I can deal with this. And that's where I say remind me down the road when some really tragic shit happens, you know? And I feel like I encounter people a lot that really have a hard time with just like the smaller stuff. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching and I'm thinking to myself, wait till the big stuff happens. When the big stuff happens, it's hard, you know, to get through that and not be angry and not be wanting to just get mad at somebody. But a lot of times, there's nobody to get mad at about shit that happens to us in the world. Sometimes it's just stuff, you know? Whether it's huge tragedies or whether it's a bee sting. There's nobody to be mad at. There's no anger directed towards any one thing. And so we have to just be okay, you know, with the things that happen to us and process them. And I'm thankful that this is just a bee sting because this is going to go away. My life is going to go on. And, you know, and I hope I use this down the road as a perspective of things are, my life is amazing. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.